How is it going, Bears fans? Welcome back to another episode of the Bear Down Podcast, where we talk everything Bears every day of the week. Today, we are back giving you guys our three key matchups in Bears versus Lions, the Week 4 matchup. We are going to be giving you guys our three keys to the game, looking at positional matchups that the Bears can take advantage of if they want to bounce back, get a win, and return to 500 at 2-2 with a win over their division rivals. Before I introduce myself and my co-host, I would like to say you guys have been crushing it on the support recently. We're really only taking one day off a week from making videos. We're trying to bring you guys the most comprehensive Bears coverage on the web. So wherever you may be listening, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, do us a favor, drop a like and subscribe. We're going to keep bringing you guys Bears content each and every day. I am your host, Chris Maltby, today to talk about Bears-Lions, as painful as it still may be. I am joined with my co-host, Parth Shaw. Parth, how have you been, man?
Doing pretty good. Just pretty busy with schoolwork and stuff, but, excited for football this weekend. Lots of games. Not necessarily just a Bears game anymore. There's a lot more other games to look forward to, I guess. But I guess, Justin Fields, if he's healthy, he'll be playing. I think we'll find out tomorrow who's going to start at quarterback. But I'm pretty sure, if not 99.9% sure, it should be and will be Justin Fields. Because if it isn't, then things will be I don't even know.
Yeah, it seems like Bill Lazor is going to be the one calling the plays for the Bears this weekend. Also, just because Matt Nagy didn't clarify who the play caller was going to be for Chicago this week, but obviously Foles with that hand injury, we've seen him in a little bit of a splint this week, or a little bit, I don't even know, like a wrist cast type thing. Yeah. A splint was a little bit of an overreaction, kind of like saying Matthew Stafford's a top 10 quarterback of all time who deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, like my co-host Parth Shaw likes to say a lot. But yeah, that was a little bit of an overreaction. Fields was a full go in practice these last 2 days. Dalton's been limited the last 2 days. So it seems like we're going to get another dose of Justin Fields. We're going to operate under that assumption today. But before we get into this podcast, talking about our three key matchups to the game, we have new partners for this season that we've been waiting to announce for a while. So here is our message today from our partners over at CBDX.com. Guys, CBDX.com is not your average CBD company. We've all tried CBD once or twice. None of it is really the real deal. CBDX, however, is the real deal, and CBDX.com ships right to your front door. Right now, our listeners get 20% off their orders at CBDX.com with promo code BD. CBDX makes delicious gummies, amazing flower and moon rocks, and tremendous cartridges. All products look, smell, and taste and feel the same way. They actually will work. CBDX.com is the future. Once again, head to CBDX.com, enter promo code BD for 20% off all orders and a free gift from the team at CBDX. Once again, I have to remind you guys, do not smoke before driving or operating heavy machinery, and do not smoke if you're getting any blood tests done. CBDX.com, once again, the link is in the description. Enter promo code BD for 20% off all orders and a special gift from the fellas over there at CBDX. Thank you so much for sponsoring. A couple sponsors this season. We want to get you guys the best products possible. Let's get right back into the podcast. All right, Parth, a lot to break down today. Bears versus Lions. You'd never think it's such a crucial game for the Bears, especially against Detroit, especially in week 4, but the schedule only gets tougher. So let's just jump right into it. Once again, I said earlier, we're operating under the assumption that Justin Fields is going to be the starting quarterback in this one. So we're going to start with getting him on the run. We saw Lamar Jackson have some success running the ball against Detroit in week 3. And just in general, I mean, you take a look at the Bears' atrocious game plan in week 3. You have to get Justin Fields on the move more. He's someone who likes to extend plays. You have to get him outside the pocket if you want to have success, regardless of the opponent. But also continuing to use him for his legs. He's a dual threat quarterback for a reason. You got to continue to get him moving. Lamar last week had 7 carries for 58 yards, a long rush of 31 yards. Against the Detroit defense that's looking a little bit weak, he had 8.3 yards per carry. So there's not much more to stay here. I mean, you have to continue to use Justin Fields on the ground, continue to get him on the move. I think that's what the Bears really failed at last week, and hopefully Bill Lazor or whoever the heck is calling plays at this point can get kicking into gear this week. So, Parth, before we move on to your point, I mean, how important do you think it is that the Bears get Justin Fields on the move more, continue to implement the play action pass, and do everything that we would expect to see a Justin Fields game plan looking like?
Yeah, exactly. I think it's very important for him to succeed and get the game flow. I mean, last week we saw him and the offense never get into a groove, and that was because he never had those easy plays or those givens. As an offense, you got to find your rookie quarterback a couple gimmies at least. And those are his play action plays where he's on the move, so he can just dump it. He feels most comfortable when he's running around the pocket. So, I mean, you got to do whatever that helps him out because that's going to help the team out at the end of the day. And when he's succeeding, the offense is going to be putting up points. So, and when he's on the move, he's also very dangerous. He's faster than most, if not all, linebackers. So, got to get him on the move. That's very crucial. I think that doesn't even need to be said, especially when it's Justin Fields. It's like the second thing that pops up in my head when I'm thinking about Fields is how good of a runner he is. So, you got to use his mobility as a skill. I mean, that's something that all quarterbacks have in this league, but the ones who do and can use it right can succeed.
Yeah, getting him on the move is definitely going to be important. You would hope that they wouldn't be implementing so many screen passes if Matt Nagy's not going to be on the field. I mean, we didn't even see the Bears. They weren't even able to get any sort of offensive groove going, whether it was good or bad last week. So getting Fields comfortable early, getting him some short and intermediate level passes, getting him comfortable. I mean, if we're being completely frankly honest, we've seen him struggle throughout 2 weeks so far. So getting him comfortable in this game, letting him use his legs is going to be very important. Parth, I'm going to pass it over to you right now. We've seen DeAndre Swift, the second-year running back for the Lions. He's someone who is a jack of all trades. He's had a pretty good season so far. Not the greatest rushing, but taking a look at his receiving stats, he's got 19 catches for, I believe, 126 yards and a touchdown. The Lions really like to use him all over the field. He's also got 33 carries for 123 yards and a touchdown. And other than TJ Hawkinson, he's really the only domino on Detroit's offense. So how important do you think it is that the Bears contain him in this week 4 matchup? The Bears have been a pretty good team so far against the run, so take it away.
I mean, we were pretty good. I mean, playing Hunt and Chubb was not an easy task. I think
probably the best 1-2 tandem in the league when you look at running backs?
Yeah, 100%. And when they're led by Coach Kevin Stefanski, who's really good at calling those run plays, they did a really good job. They both had over 80 yards against us, and they also were effective in pass catching. I know Kareem Hunt had a couple big catches. You got to watch out with that when you're playing DeAndre Swift, who's someone who's emerged as a pass catcher the last couple games. I think with Jared Goff, looking to throw that check down and not having enough wide receiver weapons, or TJ Hawkinson being doubled, that leads him to dump it down to DeAndre Swift a lot. And you got to watch out for that because Swift's shifty, he's fast, and he was very good at Georgia as well while running the ball. So I wouldn't be surprised if he just exploded while rushing too. He's had a couple pretty decent games while rushing the ball. If he got more opportunities, I think he'd play better. With Detroit, they play a lot from behind, so it's hard to run the ball, but he's definitely very vital when we play him as a pass catcher because he's just as good as any of their pass catchers on that team. That's what I'd say.
Yeah, he's a very talented pass catcher, and if you can shut him down, I mean, he might be the most versatile pass catcher on the entire Detroit Lions team. I mean, heck, their wide receiver one, not crapping on the man, is Quintez Cephas. So if you can slow down DeAndre Swift and hopefully contain someone like a TJ Hawkinson with Roquan Smith, with Deion Bush, with Eddie Jackson, with Deshaun Gibson, with whoever may be able to step up, Danny Trevathan coming back soon, you're going to be in for a good one if you get Goff throwing to his wide receivers. And I trust Kendall Vildor. He's had a pretty good start to the season so far, as well as Jaylen Johnson, obviously, who's been the top 5 corner in the league, in my opinion. So it's also worth noting that the Bears are going to have to slow down Jamal Williams. He had 2 catches for 25 yards last week. He's also been pretty solid on the ground. He had 12 carries, 42 yards. 3.5 yards per carry and a touchdown in the loss against the Ravens. So it's going to be important that the Bears slow him down too. He's someone who's caused Chicago trouble in the last couple of years. And you're going to have to step up against him as well, obviously coming over from Green Bay. Finally, before we close this one out, a little bit shorter of an episode, we just got to get the run game going. The Bears have to have a 2-dimensional offense in this game if they want to give themselves a chance to win. Once again, We've seen Justin Fields struggle so far. A good running game is a quarterback's best friend. David Montgomery is a top 5 rusher in the league so far this season, currently sitting in at number 5 with 46 carries for 203 yards and a touchdown. He was virtually shut down last week and also didn't have a great week 2 game coming off a 108-yard performance in week 1. So if you can get the run game going with David Montgomery, I think you're going to be in for some success. Once again, we've said it in previous episodes. It opens up the play-action pass. Montgomery has been getting better and better as a runner as his time in Chicago has progressed. We see him being more patient with the ball now, making quicker cuts. He looks a lot faster. So David Montgomery has had a lot of success against the Detroit Lions franchise in the past. It's a team that could be without one of their best run stuffers again in week 4 with Trey Flowers. I'm not exactly sure what the update is on him, but it's going to be important that the Bears continue to implement the run if they want to give themselves a chance to win in this one. If their offense becomes one-dimensional and the pass rush gets home and we see another situation where Fields is getting absolutely bull rushed, the Bears aren't going to have the greatest chance to win this one. So you got to continue to get the run game going with David Montgomery, have a two-dimensional offense, and you also got to get the run going with Justin Fields, as I mentioned earlier. We've seen this Detroit defense struggle against mobile quarterbacks. So get Fields out, let him stretch the field, let him extend plays, and I think the Bears will be in for a better offensive performance in week 4. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode of 3 Key Matchups. If you want more content from us, head over to our website, beardown.com. We're posting columns, articles, and blogs to get you guys ready for the Bears Week 4 matchup against the Detroit Lions. Definitely will be an important game. If you'd like to find the podcast on Instagram and Twitter, it's a great way to interact with us. We're doing a Justin Fields giveaway soon. You can find us on both of those platforms. Justin Fields jersey giveaway soon. We're not giving away the quarterback himself. We're giving away a jersey soon. You can find the podcast on Instagram and Twitter at Bear Down. And finally, if you want to interact with us, see our thoughts on all things Bears, all things NFL, and the entirety of the Chicagoland sports, White Sox playoff baseball coming up here soon. I know Parth's excited about that. He's worn that hat for about 10 consecutive podcasts. But if you want to see our thoughts on all things Chicago sports and everything, be sure to check out our personal social media pages. The links to those are down in the description. Parth Shah, a little bit of a quicker one today, feeling honestly a little bit rusty. We came out on Monday and recorded Meet the Opponents, but wasn't too exciting to record that. Wasn't too exciting to record this. We'll be able to record about a new stadium tomorrow, and that video will hopefully at least have some more positive energy, and we won't have to think about the head coach or anything recording about that. But any last words before we sign off here?
Yeah, no, absolutely. We'll talk more about the stadium tomorrow. I'm excited to talk more on that for sure. That's definitely some positive news for the Bears. And, another positivity is that we get to see Justin Fields for another game. Last week wasn't fun to watch him play. I'm going to be honest. I kind of felt bad for him out there. So hopefully against a weaker Detroit team, the Bears might not be as good as we think they are, or even as good as, they could be worse than Detroit, but the thing is they can definitely beat this Detroit team. And with Justin Fields, I think it's just going to add some more fun to it. So definitely excited about that.
Yeah, we need to see a good performance out of Justin Fields. I agree with you. It's been kind of tough to watch him so far. I'm not sure if it's a he's not ready. I'm not sure if it's a his coach is terrible. I'm not sure if it's an offensive line problem. It's never always on the young quarterback. There's a lot of problems in Chicago offensively outside of Justin Fields, but it would be nice to see him bounce back, have a good performance, maybe even assert his spot as the quarterback one in Chicago with a dominant win over the Lions. That would definitely be a good one. Heading into a stretch of games that includes the Las Vegas Raiders, San Francisco 49ers, Packers, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The schedule doesn't get easier, so the Bears have to win games where they can. And this is definitely one of those winnable ones. Should be interesting to see how Fields can play on Sunday if he is the quarterback for the Bears. Obviously, we're operating under that assumption, but it is good to see Andy Dalton back in practice with that bone bruise, taking him out last week. So, guys, it's been a pleasure to be your host. Once again, my name is Chris Maltby, and Bears fans, as always, try and stay positive, stay safe, and as always, bear down. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.